I imagine any band from the 90s and 80s and 70s and 60s and 50s will all be so familiar with that slightly more DIY approach to recording, gigging. It's only really when you get to digital that everything gets a little bit more sophisticated, and I think probably some of the fun's been driven out of it.
Yeah, but then going back to what I was saying earlier about trying to get the recording onto VHS, it's like all that time could have been spent like writing songs, and it's so easy. It's so great, like to be able to record into stuff now where you can track at home, even just for demoing. I mean, the fact you can do it to studio quality if you've got a decent mic is
You lose something in it.
Onto a laptop.
Steve, you lose something in it. Honestly,
you think?
I think so. And I'll tell you what you lose in it. You lose
sonically, or
yeah, sonically, and also there's something. There's some authenticity that gets lost through digital, and I don't know what it is. There's a little bit of magic that you probably can't describe that gets lost through all the digital technology. I can hear, cogs whirling and
well, literally,
like literally in
hissing, and there is an organic thing about working to tape. And of course, it's like you're usually a lot more rehearsed, and you. I mean, I'm terribly lazy, I must say, like recording digitally, because I know I can just like keep recording over and over and over, and I could splice something together quite easy. I'm quite aware of that now, though, and feel like I want to like treat it the way I used to back in the day, which was basically go for the take all the way through. Because you go up yourself too much, I think. I love, and the thing with like everything's so perfect now, auto-tune, quantizing everything, so the drums are exactly, the bass drum's doing that all the way through, and that snare's a little bit out. We just move it along a bit, and it's like now that one doesn't sound quite in line either, and it ends up sounding like AI's done something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like we've got to separate ourselves from being perfect, because that's the thing that separates us from AI, and which is fine if people want to, enjoy that for disco or whatever. But bands, I want to hear the mistakes, and I don't want to hear everything auto-tuned perfectly. I want to hear all those, inflections, and some things are meant to be out of tune, and it gives you something more feedback into your feeling.
Yeah.
Are
we going to lose?
What I feel.
Are we going to lose the next generation of proper quality bands to auto-tune and digital?
I hope people are going to get more aware to it, really,
and go back into garages.
And in the way that we've basically, and rough it out, because you can't create that. All those wrong things going on is what does it for a band. We need things to be imperfect, and that's what makes it amazing and original.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we're all chasing down the same rabbit hole, and it's who wants that?
If you here's a really kind of fun one. So we're going to talk about AI on another episode in another conversation, but the way that people now like analyze AI generated images and stuff for, look, it's got 6 fingers, or it's got like, the camera upside down, and it's all kind of a bit wrong and a bit.
I love that.
I know, but if you go back and listen to old recordings, to your point about the errors, there were errors on all of those like old recordings. So let's take the Mark 1 album.
Yeah, mostly me. Yeah,
Calling All the Dreamers Mark 1. No, man, there's stuff I've listened to those tracks so closely so many times now that on some of them you can hear someone whispering in the background. There's one track, I can't remember which one it is, where right at the end you just hear Nigel going, "Oh, I don't remember recording like that before," and then it stops. Like, there are all these imperfections in all the tracks that make them way more interesting than a sort of polished studio, like out the door perfection. And so it becomes quite fun finding imperfection in things. Like, for me, the fun part about AI is finding the imperfection in it and then like memeing it. Old tracks, finding the imperfections. The fans don't notice when you're slightly off the beat or out of tune or whatever it is. It just sounds like a good song. Artists must hear that, kind of go like, "Oh my God, we were so off then." But it's fascinating. I worry that the fun in music is going to get lost because it's going to be so perfect. There'll be no imperfection. And where's the fun in that? It's not who we are.
No, it's not. It's like, I mean, I haven't been taught a jot all the way through.
You just made it up.
I do not have a clue about scales. I know where, you know, the basic chords are, but haven't got a clue with like scales. I struggle between like major and minor, and so that can be a bit of a that can lead to a big amount of jeopardy in terms of things going wrong. But actually, if I wasn't making those mistakes, then, because some of the mistakes are amazing, and for whatever reason, in original music especially, it's like you don't always want everything to be right, because
love that.
Depending on the subject, you want it to be disjointed, you know, and fucked up, because the world's fucked up and we all feel fucked up, and so music can do that as well, and that's okay. It's fine to make mistakes and leave them in. I'm not saying like so it sounds shit, but yeah, it's a funny thing. What is wrong? There is no wrong, really, because you could make a whole song that's completely wrong and it would be crazy. But you know, it's still something that's it's fine. It's fine to do that, you know.
Snapshot in time.
Yeah,
that's so good. Well, I think that's probably a good spot to leave on, actually, because as a message, I think we can celebrate imperfection.
Definitely, yeah.
So, or actually, before
you're
we
not
do then,
completely shaven.
I'm not completely shaven.
Neither am I.
It's all good, right, my friend?
Yeah, great album.
Let's leave it. Awesome. Well, listen, we'll talk about something equally as crazy on the next recording.
Yeah, lovely.
It's
been good. That was good. Cheers, Pete.
Nice. Thanks, Steve.
Have a good evening.
Cheers.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye-bye.